Boundaries is a topic that many people struggle with because from a young age on, most of us has been socialized to basically ignore our own feelings, values, wants. And so we are conditioned basically to perform according to the wishes of those around us, which forces us to just completely forget our own boundaries. However, if you want to create fulfilling relationships and a life where you really go for your purpose and you set out to achieve your goals, it's incredibly important to have strong boundaries, because otherwise people will just walk all over you and you're gonna feel a lot of resentment essentially. So in this video, I want to show you how you can start creating your own personal strong boundaries. But before I get started, let me introduce myself. My name is Veronica Meyer. I'm a life coach and I specialize in reconnecting people to their emotions and in a compass which leads them directly to their higher purpose. So if you want to start with creating strong boundaries, you need to develop a strong sense of self. That's the first really big important step. What a strong sense of self means is that you are really clear about what you personally like and dislike. That's it at the most simple and basic level. What do I like? What do I not like? What are my values? What is my truth? The reason for this is that boundaries are not about like rules, It's not about this is a good thing and this is a bad thing happening to me, something that is externally defined, but it's very personal and very much up to you. I want to give you an example. So let's imagine there is a person who loves connection, who loves being with people. Their personal like is to be constantly around people, to get a lot of hugs, to get a lot of touch, because that's how they feel really connected. That's what they want. These are their boundaries. That's not good and bad, it just is. Then there's another person who has maybe experienced a lot of abuse in their life, who are really scared, and they are really scared of people. For them, they feel very anxious around a lot of people. They need a lot of time away so that they can calm down and process everything. Also, they are very scared of touch. They don't actually like to do it so much. That's maybe something they want to heal over time, and maybe they have one safe person, that they can allow closer. But in general, for them at this moment, their personal boundaries are to not be touched much. Again, that's not bad or right or wrong. That's just how they are. This is their personal boundaries. So as you can see, when you develop a strong sense of self, it's about what do I want and need or don't want. It's very much up to you. Because what I see mostly is that people struggling because they maybe don't like a behavior that everyone else seems to find acceptable and that everyone else is okay with, and then they feel like guilty or shameful, or simply that they cannot set the boundary. So I want to give you a personal example here, because a lot of this is really a gray area, and as I said, it's very much about how it is for you personally. So I joined a choir here in the UK where I live a few months ago, and there was this woman, and she will always sit next to me. It's a very small choir, so we always sit at the same place, and after a while she just was annoying me. She was just oversharing, and it was just too much for me. And the thing is that this woman is not a bad person, she's not like evil or anything like that. It's just that her personality as she is just a little bit too much for me. So at some point I just said to her, look, I really come here, to enjoy myself, and I don't like too much talking, because singing is really my happy place and I mostly come here for singing. And she looked at me and she was like, that's all right. And since then we still talk a little bit, but everything has changed, and actually I feel much more relaxed around her because I said what I wanted to say, So this is such a classical example, and this is actually this is such a small thing, but this is how people are struggling with boundaries. And I see this so often that people literally would quit jobs they love just because there's one person they can't set a boundary with, you know? And it's not even like an intense thing, just maybe that someone is treating them a little bit with disrespect or annoying them, like this person in my choir, or just simply someone that even that smells bad, you know? And what a shame would it be if you would quit your job because of such a situation. So what does it mean to develop a strong sense of self? For this, you have to go on an exploration, especially if you've been in a household where, you know, your parents made a lot of decisions for you, where your opinion didn't matter, or where there was a really strong, you know, family kind of like values, you know, this is what's good and this is what's bad. It can be very difficult to feel yourself, to even know who you are and what are your personal values, what are your personal likes and dislikes. So I encourage you to go on a journey of self-exploration, and the easiest way to start is with feelings and with needs. So if you Google list of feelings, you can get a list of feelings, and then when you are experiencing specific things, any situations in your life, you can assess, how does this thing make me feel? Because of course your feelings tell you about your own values, right? They tell you, oh, this is something that I enjoy and this is something that I don't enjoy. Because very often when people do this, they actually realize, oh, I always thought I'm a like super extrovert, like people person, but actually I need a lot of quiet time. Or they say, for example, oh, I actually am such a family person, I love to be around my family, and then they realize that actually they find it really exhausting to be around their family. So the feelings will tell you what are your own values. And then you also get a needs list, again, just find on the internet list of needs. And then you explore, what are my personal needs? You know, do I need more connection? Do I need more communication? Do I need more freedom? Do I need more mutuality? Whatever it might be, again, this tells you exactly about your boundaries. What do I like? What do I not like? Feelings and needs. And you can also combine this, because your uncomfortable feelings will always let you know about your missing needs. So whenever you feel really bad in a situation, first look at, okay, which feelings arise and what does it show me, which of my needs are not being met. So this is a super powerful tool. And if you're struggling with feeling emotions, so if you look at this feeling list and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't even know what I'm feeling, I encourage you to get access to my free guided meditations, which is called Feeling Emotions in the Body Meditation. And it will help you to get awareness, what is your accurate feeling state. So just click the link below and you can get immediate access to my free guided meditation. What I also wanted to say is that it's very important when you start setting boundaries to also remember that most people actually have not got bad intentions. For example, the woman in my choir, she is not a bad person. She didn't want to annoy me. I think even she was trying to connect with me, and that's the only way she knew how. The more I was pulling away but not telling her why, the more she would kind of like, you know, grab me. That's like actually a very common inner child reaction to someone pulling away. So she probably, you know, had a parent in her life that was constantly pulling away for her. That was her strategy, but that of course wasn't making me more annoyed, right? So the only solution was to just talk about it. And that's how it will be with most people, because what I can see a little bit is that boundaries have been a big topic the last years, which is wonderful, but that people then start to categorize people as evil, you know, like this man at work who always comes too close, oh my god, he's a perpetrator. Or my boss at work, she's just like a complete bitch and she's a narcissist and she hates people. Very likely the man at work just has no awareness of space, and maybe no one has ever told him, right? Because that's another problem. When people don't share about their boundaries, people have not an accurate picture of themselves. Like I, for example, was told when I was 25 even, that I was an aggressive person. And I was like, what? That's ridiculous. And I had to really look into myself and was like, yo, shit, I'm an aggressive person sometimes, and no one had ever told me. You know, so it was good to get this accurate information. So again, if you maybe share with the man at work that comes to close this, maybe you'll be like, oh my gosh, that's what I'm doing. Thank you for telling me. The same with your boss. She probably has a lot on her plate. Maybe she started her own company. She's just really focused. She doesn't try to be like narcissistic and not consider you. So really keep that in mind, because boundaries are not about disconnecting you from people. That's not the goal of boundaries. Of course, if you need space, that's what they can give you. But first and foremost, it's about actually establishing good relationship, because you're very clear about what you need to feel good with someone. But the goal, of course, is always to be connected and to have like fulfilling relationships. So I hope that this video has helped you to understand more what boundaries are, to get an idea where to start if you want to develop a strong sense of self. And yeah, as mentioned in the beginning, this is really such an important tool for your whole life, for achieving your goals, but also for creating amazing relationships. So thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you soon in another video. Bye bye.